I never thought I would have to constantly look over my shoulders, just walking out my front door.
Tonight, more calls for accountability after teens are caught committing crimes at a community garden in Baltimore. Recently, 2 teens accused of assaulting and robbing 2 women were released to their parents despite having prior offenses. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Bubala.
And I'm Carjackings. Now, that frustration comes as new state audit reveals this week alarming findings about the Department of Juvenile Services.
That includes little to no criminal background checks on contractors, along with payroll and facility issues across the department. The report claims many of these findings mirror what was found in another audit back in 2023.
The new audit is prompting some state leaders to call for DJS Secretary Vincent Schiraldi to be removed. Today, the Maryland House Republican Caucus released a statement saying the department has failed in its basic duties and that no one has been held accountable. The statement went on to criticize Schiraldi's decisions, saying it's outrageous they've continued and that nothing has been done to correct course.
We have live team coverage today, beginning with Jessica Babb and the attack on those women in the community garden.
Jessica joins us live from the garden in North Baltimore, showing us why some residents say enough is enough. Jessica?
We've only seen a few people coming to the gardens today, but I spoke with one man off camera who said he plans on locking himself in every time he comes to work, trying to stay safe, especially after what's happened the last few days. Other residents I've talked with say there needs to be major changes at DJS.
Is this really happening?
Nestled off Woodbourne Avenue in Baltimore sits the DeWees City Farm, a quiet community garden surrounded with a fence. The front gate locked with a chain.
Do you have to lock yourself in when you're gardening? Come on.
With signs of life growing on the inside, on the outside, few people showed up to garden Wednesday, especially after gardeners have been confronted with crime.
You know, what was the mindset in these kids? A gardener? It's just not fair.
Last Saturday, police say an 82-year-old woman and a 64-year-old woman were gardening when they were approached by 2 teens. BPD says the teens demanded their stuff, then chased the women. The 82-year-old woman hit in the head. The teens taking some of their items and a car.
These kids need some type of reprogramming.
Tyrone Williams lives down the street.
You shouldn't have to worry about getting your car jacked or getting assaulted, period. You know, and at that age, it's just wrong.
Police were able to chase the teens down, arresting a 16 and 17-year-old. BPD later recovering the victim's cell phone and a wooden crutch. While BPD requested the teens be detained, the Department of Juvenile Services released both of them to their guardians, and the 17-year-old was put on electronic monitoring.
I feel like you gotta start a new standard, go a whole different direction, where it's not just always about sending them back to their parents.
BPD says both suspects have a prior robbery arrest.
They already got off, they already got a fair warning once. Why are you out here doing the same thing again?
But a day before that, last Friday, Jane Blonder, who lives across the street from the garden, says she was carjacked.
It's unnerving.
She was getting ready to leave her house to go babysit her grandkids.
I was just in my car, ready to go, and 3 young untouchables with masks surrounded my car, and I was told to get out, give them the keys real fast, or they'll kill me. And then they saw I had a phone in my pocket, and they said, give me your phone too.
She says they appeared to be teens.
I never thought I would have to constantly look over my shoulders, just walking out my front door.
Then this past Monday, back at the garden, BPD says an 82-year-old man was approached by 2 teens, about 12 to 14 years old, armed with a knife. The suspects trying to rob the man, but instead running away when the man showed them his gardening tool.
It's wrong, and these kids got to be held responsible.
But as the garden sits in the shadows of a DJS Youth Residence Center, now used as an office building, neighbors say DJS's policies are flawed and frustrating.
I have no idea what it's going to take for Westmore and Vinnie Schiraldi to wake up and see what's going on. Because if I had my druthers, I'd not be here anymore. I would be gone. The city is not my friend. Until people are held accountable for what they're doing, put away, made inconvenient, This isn't going to change.
The whole entire system, everything needs to change. They, you know, from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom.
BPD says the suspect descriptions in the two garden incidents are different. They also say they've yet to make arrests in the incident that happened on Monday, as well as the carjacking that happened on Friday. Live in Baltimore, Jessica Babb, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.